Anybody else here? Oh, Bobby, come on. That's Bobby. She's one of our board directors here, okay? Director at large. Marge is usually here, but she's not here. We have Nancy in the background. She's Secretary Melanie, and Janice will be talking later on. And welcome, everybody. How you doing? All right. You know, when I think of where we were a year ago, we were depressed, okay? A lot of the people were depressed, feeling, oh my God, like we were kicked in the gut. And I cannot think and imagine that we would have been here so quickly at this time. I could not have imagined that so many people from major universities, law firms, media outlets, and everything else would have capitulated to the Trump agenda, or whatever you want to call it. And to me, it's, now you know what? We're not depressed anymore, are we? We are motivated, aren't we? We are motivated people, okay? And we are going to move and get moving and keep ourselves going, because we are recognizing, there's a lot of people, if you look at the polls, that are former people who were voting for Trump and everything else like that, a lot of independents, a lot of youth, a lot of the Spanish people, the Hispanics are no longer voting for, or no longer supporting him. They're saying this is not what we wanted. I was up in Portland when the ice was out there, and I showed a video before of them coming out with Star Wars troopers coming out and everything else like that. You know, this was the time when Trump was saying, oh, Portland is burning and all the buildings are boarded up and everything else like that. And it's amazing to me that the only place you knew that it wasn't burning was in Portland, because the major media never picked it up. And could you imagine if Biden had gone, okay, Portland is burning? You would have heard, no, it's not, but on everything, where is it burning, okay? And I did have to send out, because, you know, I sent out a sort of joke email. Yeah, you know, Portland has all these problems, because it was, they were having Oktoberfest there. And there's pumpkins and little animals in the street. I said, animals roaming the streets, and, you know, media is, the pumpkins are garbage strewn on the street, meaning pumpkins wasn't strewn. But, you know, I mean, this is the craziness, and we cannot look at the mainstream media and get as our main source of news anymore. So anyway, it looks like most of our people have come in, and I want to let everybody know we are videotaping the meetings here, okay? And our speaker knows that we're going to be videotaping it. I communicated that. And I just want to make sure, you know, we could have somebody come in here and cause a problem, or I want to do it, you know, and everything else like that. Here in Sun City, we do have rules and regulations, and I want to document it in case there's a situation that occurs in this room. And also, we are doing it for posterity, because, you know what, I'm proud of what we are doing here in these meetings. And we do have our own YouTube website now, okay? And you can look at the meetings anybody wants to look at the last meeting we had when the League of Women Voters was up here. And Lori, do you want to come up here and just say hi before we do the Pledge of Allegiance? This is Lori Rubenstein. We have the League of Women Voters here speaking, and she has her little table back there with her sign-up sheet. Lori?
So, like many of you, I wear a lot of different hats, right? One is League of Women Voters, one is Good Trouble Vegas, another one is Braver Angels, and another one is Vote Nevada. Today, I'm wearing actually a few of those hats to talk about this issue. All these groups have one thing in common. They're actually nonpartisan, but they're pro-democracy. They just want everybody to have a fair and equal voice. And today I'm asking everyone to sign 2 petitions that are really about something simple: fair elections and equal treatment. So number 1 is fair primaries. Right now, in Nevada, if you're a nonpartisan or independent, like 37% of the voters are, and I want to say more than 50% of young voters. You can't vote in the partisan categories in the primaries. And that translates to lost down ballot votes because so many independents think that they can't vote at all. And that is how the same insiders, the same party incumbents keep getting elected over and over again. So this petition says, if you pay taxes and live here, you should get to vote, period. No party membership is required. So what would happen is they would go to get their ballot, and they would have to say, I want a Democrat ballot or a Republican ballot, and then vote. That's how that would work. The second ballot is fair districts, no gerrymandering. So every time one party takes control here, they redraw the district map to protect themselves, just like all of you are now in Susie Lee's district, but 2 years ago, you were in Stephen Horsford's district, right? So we know how this changes. So we want an independent commission to do this and not the parties, so it doesn't switch all the time. The measure basically says district lines should be fair and not rigged to protect politicians. Politicians should not choose their voters, the voters should choose their politicians, right? So we are back here. We have to get 150,000 signatures for this to show up on the ballot. And as you know, it has to show up on the ballot twice. And then in year 6, basically, it takes effect. So in Susie Lee's district, you can come back and sign right now. We may just pass it along around the table, maybe to make it easier for people if you want. But we're back there and you can sign. It takes 30 seconds to sign and it protects democracy for years. And I just want to say, for me, I think this is a legacy issue. I want to leave my children and grandchildren with a fair, democratic republic. And this is one of the steps that we can take to make that happen. Thank you.
We are going to have a couple of very interesting meetings coming up in March and in April. In March, we have Shea Backus. She originally was scheduled to be here last November, but then the governor called a special session, and she had to go up to Carson City. So she will be here explaining laws that are impacting not only Sun City, but all of Nevada. So you'll have some good questions, I'm sure, to ask her and what's going on with our state legislator. In April, Sherman, you want to come on up here? And we have our Congresswoman, Susie Lee, who will be here for the entire meeting, and the main speaker is Susie Lee. So, okay, anyway. When we did Pledge of Allegiance here, this was actually, my daughter had it up there in Portland there. And this is, when I say the Pledge of Allegiance, what it means to me, and I hope it means about the same to you here. That this is what our America and our Constitution is about here in the United States. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And I want to say, you know, if anybody comes by our house, we live on the golf course up by Highland Falls 16. We've had our flag flying in the back of there for, well, since about 2020. And I believe we need to be patriotic. We are patriotic. And unfortunately, there are many people who wrap themselves in the flag and hug the flag and kiss the flag. We've seen Trump do that. Who really want to just trample over the Constitution and what the flag means to me, and I believe to most people, if not everybody in this room here. Sherman, you want to come up for a second here?
Thanks, Mark. Hi, everybody. My name is Sherman. I'm the organizing director for Congresswoman Susie Lee. I started about 3 weeks ago. I started organizing with the Nevada Democratic Party coordinated campaign in 2024 in Reno, and then worked last year as a field organizer in Virginia on the gubernatorial campaign for Abigail Spanberger. Susie Lee hopefully will be here to speak in April, and I'm excited to work with all of you. We want to start our ground campaign very soon, hopefully in April or May, and we're going to do everything that we can to make sure that your voices are heard, continue to do the great work that Susie Lee has done to advocate for creating affordable housing, lowering the cost of prescription drugs, reducing the cost of premiums, expanding access to affordable health care, and of course creating jobs right here in the 3rd Congressional District. So thank you very much. If anybody wants to communicate with me or has any questions about volunteering, I can give you my card. You can also reach out to Norm. He has my contact information. But just wanted to introduce myself to everybody, say hello. It's a pleasure to meet all of you, and really looking forward to working with all of you for the next several months. So thanks for your time. I appreciate it.
I do have to say there are some people here who may not want Susie Lee, and we are open for discussion here. There are primaries that are coming up, and we are here for discussion, and we are open for complete communication, and we want to be fair to everybody who's out there. This is what we have to do, and I know Lonnie over there from the Red Rock Democratic Club, you feel the same way, and you had a good meeting there on Wednesday. Sorry I missed it, I had it wrong on my calendar there. You want to stay for a second?
Hello, and thank you always for welcoming me to the Sun City Liberals. We had, who was here at the Red Rock Dems meeting? Okay, a few of you. It was absolutely packed. We had over 100 people in the room, more on Zoom, because it was on immigration and ICE. And if you don't think people are fired up about that, you're not thinking straight. So we had a very lively discussion with Michael Kagan from UNLV. He also runs our immigration clinic. And Agar Hazabullah, and he corrected me because I mispronounced his name, from the ACLU was there as well. And we had an immigration attorney, Nali Abad, from Handy Legal Services. So I invite all of you, and I know a good number of you are members of the Red Rock Dems, and we appreciate it, and I always invite you to our meetings. I'll plug our next meeting. It's on Tuesday, not Wednesday, Tuesday, February 24th. It is on candidate speed dating judicial. So we are inviting just the judicial candidates. There are a lot of them, and they're running for office. And if you go down the ballot, you're like, I don't know any of these candidates. This is your chance to talk to them. So we have candidates from family court, from criminal court, from justice of the peace, and I'll be sending out flyers, or you can always go to our website. But I invite all of you to attend our meetings. I know many of you are there, as it is now. Yes, sir, and ma'am.
Where are you located?
Our meetings are at Temple Sinai, 9001 Hill Point Road. It is a very secure location. It's totally gated, and you have to walk through security. It's a really comfortable meeting location. People feel good going there, and you're all welcome to join us anytime. I'm Lonnie Paz. If you have any questions, come and talk to me, or Norm definitely has my number.
You're on speed dial. Hill Point, I mean,
6:30.
What was the question?
6:30, our meeting.
6:30, and it's about a mile away from Lake Mead Boulevard, Hill Point. you go down Lake Mead from Anastasia or up from Rampart, you go take a left on Hill Park or right, depending on which way you're going. It's about a mile down the road, so it's really not a far trip for you. Okay? All right. Now, we are starting the meetings at 6:30, and because we want to try and get out of here at 8 o'clock and everything, and we've really been having a lot of things packed into our meeting. And I'm going to, this was in yesterday's or Saturday's review journal, and you know, the review journal really has a lot of stuff there, but I had to keep this light. And you know, my dad being a cartoonist and everything, I just thought it was, you know, perfect there. Here and there, you know, they're paying people $50 to go to the movie and everything else like that. And I guess it's not George Soros doing it, right? Has anybody, I know a lot of people here have been to rallies and to No Kings and everything. Has anybody gotten a George Soros check yet? No? Oh man, we gotta put our, I'm not joking, you know that? I mean, it's so sad that they are continually doing that. And I want to say one thing too before I get on here. You know, with Susie Lee, there had been real campaigns against her and saying, oh, one, you know, she voted against tips for giving tips to, you know, no tax on tips and no tax on Social Security, which goes for 2 years and then it's all gone, you know, and there was a lot there. And also Susie was, how dare her have this horrible language, you know, inflammatory language and everything, which it's not. And the only inflammatory language that I've seen is coming from the other side. And especially when you see the ICE agents out there, the stormtroopers or whatever. And so anyway, talking about that, I got a little video here, okay? If anybody saw Morning Joe this morning, part of this was on. This was a fuller extent of it here. And I'm going to ask a question at the end when we watch this, okay? And I want to ask, if you were in this car that was over there and pulled up and stopped, what would you do? Well, okay, you know, you've got a situation there. You see 4 or 5 ICE agents with their AK-47s and everything else like that surrounding a car with a woman in the car, and you coming up on that and see that happening. What would you do? Well, call 911, okay, and hopefully the police in the area are going to be supportive. Say that again.
Record it.
Record it. All right, now, this is what I want everybody here to do. I want you to take out your cell phones.
Got your cell phones, come on.
Take out your cell phones. Everybody take out your cell phone. We're going to have a... Okay, well, if you left it home, all right? If you left it home, you don't have it, but when you get home, I want you to be sure you know how to take a picture, okay? So now, I want everybody to take a picture of somebody or something in the room, okay? Take a picture with your cell phone, all right?
The video is more important.
All right now you're just taking a photograph. You're not taking a video. All right? Now, there are, and this is the thing that most people do with their cell phones. They take it this way. Okay? And when you look at something that goes on the TV is landscape, portrait, landscape, okay? When you take a photo this way, you are getting sky and ground, and you are missing so much of what is happening. So So if I take a picture here, like this, of this group, all I'm going to get are the people in this, I'm going to get the ceiling, and I'm going to get the floor. First thing that you need to do when you are taking your pictures is put your camera in landscape or horizontal way, okay? That's the way to better have it go and be recorded. Now, everybody may feel different. You will not, I'm not saying get out of your car. Don't get out of your car or anything there, okay? And you can only do what you feel comfortable with, because I would not want to place anybody into any danger that you're feeling uncomfortable. Now, with your cell phone, you have a place to take a video, okay? So I want everybody to take a 5-second video here, okay? Just take a 5-second, because you need to know how to do this. So if you see something happening, you know how to pull out your phone and to use it and to take a video, okay? So just take a 5-second video. Try to hold the camera still. A lot of times people go like this and they're walking all around and act like this. Try to be still, okay? And focus in on what's happening. If you see danger, you know, the woman that was taking the pictures of Alex Preddy there, you saw her when standing and she actually went away and backed herself up. Keep yourself safe, okay? Be sure you're keeping yourself safe. But as you're backing up, try to keep focusing on what is happening there, okay? Practice this. Practice taking it. Practice it with your grandchildren. Yeah.
Can I add something? I was at the individual meeting last week with millions of other people. And something that I hadn't thought of, which I think is so important, is as soon as you take a video, send it to several people. Because they can take your phone and confiscate it. They do. They have these machines that are like pawn shop machines, and that's what they do. They sell your phone with all of your info on it. So if you send it to someone, that video it's all there.
Yep.
Hold on.
And the other thing that we heard at last month's Red Rock Den meeting was get a whistle and blow it. And that's what they're doing in Minnesota. It's to alert other people. Granted, in a remote location like that, I don't think it would do much help. But if you're out in public, start blowing the whistle and attracting attention for it's ice, and get your camera out. That was what was emphasized. Keep safe, zoom in, but back up.
Practice taking pictures. If you have your grandchildren over, take pictures of your grandchildren, you know, okay? Use it, all right? And we also have our YouTube channel. Send it to me, and I'll post it that. I would be more than happy to post an appropriate video onto Midas Touch or to any of the other independent media sources out there. It's important that you document what is going on there. And
send it to our representatives.
say what, Gene?
Should we send it to our representatives?
Sure, why not? The more exposure, something like that, this is what's happening in our area. You know, I didn't want to broach that subject here because, you know, she has a right to, and the ICE agents are coming out and intimidating people and saying, you don't have a right to do this, you're going to get arrested. You know what, you have a total right on a public street to take any photograph of anybody doing anything. And they will try to intimidate you as to not how to do this, and there are really some good shows on the independent media YouTube channels and everything, what to do if a police officer stops you and tells you this, and it's not necessarily, because ICE is more than what a police officer is doing. But we're living in dangerous times. I'm recording it. The whole narrative of Alex Preddy would have been totally different if people were not recording it. The narrative of was an assassin who came out with his gun to do all of this kind of stuff. And again, hypocrisy. You know, I talked about, that was a big topic on last month's meeting there, was hypocrisy. And you look at what happened with the Second Amendment, okay, you know, Rittenhouse or whatever, you know, goes meeting with Trump after he's carrying his gun and shoots 2 people at a rally. But, you know, they can go out with guns, but if, you know, Alex is having a licensed gun, he's being a terrorist.
And a permit to carry. With a permit to carry.
Just a little tip. Alex Pretty, they accused him of having a gun because he had a cell phone in his hand and it was black, so I went out and got it.
Well, if anybody couldn't see, it was a cell phone and not a gun. I mean, but don't use any excuse. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that up as a little thing there. And let's move on here. We send out, and it goes into the Tuesday Newsday, the link and everything else like that, okay? Our meeting notices, and I send this also out in the emails, and it has the information of where the meeting is and who the meeting, who's going to be speaking and everything else like that. So if I don't put it in the body of the email, look for it. And you know what? I put a lot of, sometimes I put links to different videos in, and I see how many people look at it, and I see a lot of people don't even click on the link, and it's unfortunate. Because some of the videos, I really try to pick them out very carefully, rather than seeing in what is on our mainstream media. We have to get with the alternate media sources. Janice, if you want to come on up here. And Janice will introduce our next speaker. Primary speaker.
Come on, I paid you more money. Let me hear it. We have a wonderful speaker this evening. Very important person, VIP. Ashley is the chair of the Clark County Democratic Party. Let's give her a round of applause. She has been involved with the Executive Board of Clark County Dem since 2023. When she was elected treasurer, Ashley works in a nonprofit project management, primarily on international community development projects, as well as locally here in Las Vegas. A native Nevadian, boy, we don't get many of those. Ashley served twice in the Peace Corps. She looks so young. She volunteered and worked on international projects in 5 countries before returning to Las Vegas in 2022. We're going to give our attention to Ashley. She will speak for a little while, and then she will take questions. Ashley.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Is the microphone working? Okay, thank you so much. I have to say, when I was asked to speak here tonight, I did not expect to see a room full of Democratic activists. So please give yourself a round of applause. I'm truly humbled to be here. As Janice said, I'm Ashley Lovell. I'm the current chair of the Clark County Democratic Party. If anyone's real invested in the bureaucracy of Democrats, we have our DNC at the national level with many subcommittees, lots of activities. We have the state Democratic Party led by Danielle Monroe Moreno, who's our amazing Democrat champion at the state level, and I am the Clark County Democratic Chair. We have, it's so cute, thank you for putting this up, we have an amazing new executive board, a lot of diverse young leaders, everyone, all but one of us are still working, have full-time jobs, so we're very thrilled to figure out how we can get democratic participation and activism on a volunteer basis across Clark County. Our mission at Clark Dems is simple. It's to get Democrats at the local level elected. Who can tell me who their Democratic representative? I assume somebody knows because she's coming next month. But who's our assemblywoman here? Yeah. Shay Bacchus. Is anyone in 34 with Hunani Nadeem, or is everyone? Yeah, sorry. I think this is split. Who can tell me our senator in this district? Just shout it out, you know. Yep, Nicole Canizaro, and she's actually our Senate leader. We have some amazing Democrats here in Clark County that we get to support, and we have also a lot of racists. So how do we get Democrats elected? We organize our voters, and not only Democrats, but Democratic-leaning voters. Everyone probably knows in this room that we have more nonpartisans in every single district, every single commission district, no matter where you break it down in Clark County, than registered Democrats or registered Republicans. And as our friend shared, it's a lot of young people that are either being registered automatically or are choosing, frankly, to be nonpartisans. So at the Clark County, at the local level, we have the opportunity to speak to those folks, hear from them what's important, and share the message of our Democratic candidates and Democratic leaders. We also get their message out through our social media and our events, and we train volunteers and community members. So I bet that if we went table by table and added up the years of volunteering experience in this room, we would be overwhelmed. I bet it's in the thousands. I've done it once before with a smaller room. But who, last year, or 2 years ago now in 2024, who wrote a postcard for a political candidate? Who made phone calls for a political candidate? Who knocked doors for a political candidate? That's a tougher sell in Las Vegas for sure. I have a 6-year-old son. If you've ever seen me before, you've probably seen him. He gets dragged around to a lot of community events. And he himself knocked over with me 100 doors for Kamala, so I call her his #1 kid fan. Thank you. Those are the kind of things we are meant to organize. And we're trying to bring in high school students, university students in the Valley to do that with us. We're also trying to reimagine what that looks like and how we do it. We, when we were trying to get elected, actually called ourselves the Reimagined Slate. Because what it feels like to be a Democrat is pretty different right now than it's ever been before. Am I right? What it feels like to support or be upset at our elected officials feels pretty different right now than it ever has before. Am I right? Maybe not ever, let's say recently. In my lifetime, it feels very different. So we're trying to reimagine, not only through writing postcards for your Dems, what it means to reach out to folks. I've talked to other groups like this. We're getting involvement from our high school students. We work with the Young Dems of Nevada. We work with other caucuses and groups from statewide to try to invite people in and talk about what it means to be a Democrat these days. We also do get out the vote effort, so you'll hear, if you're willing to share your email and contact information with us, you'll hear a lot from us when it's time to come out to the primary. While it's true that there are many closed primaries that are specific to Democrats, there's also over 65 partisan primaries and races this year. We have over 150 races total in Clark County in this midterm election. No Senate races, no presidential. So we have to get out the vote and make people understand not only that it's a crucial moment, that we're upset, that we have to save our democracy, but the way we do that is at the local level, through school board candidates, through our assembly members, those kind of races. Does anyone know who their commissioner is? Who is it? We're in Commission C right now, right? Who's your county commissioner?
April Becker.
Yes, April Becker won in 2024. She is the lone Republican on the county commission. She won in 2024 when Trump won. And voter turnout in Commission C among Democrats was the lowest it's been in many, many elections. In Clark County, we won. We were blue. If anyone's seen the breakdown, it's Washoe Clark. And what we consider Clark County is, we call it the blue wall. So if we win by enough votes, if we get enough nonpartisans and Democrats to come out and vote for the Democratic candidate, we can win in statewide elections. It means down ballot we win. That means the judges who come out win as well. So it's very, very crucial this year that we figure out how to reach those voters. I've already heard someone in this room say they'll host a postcard party. One of my friends here, Tracy, hosts regular postcard parties, and they write to out-of-state candidates. There's no end to what we can do. That's a great effort. The Clark Dems is going to host postcard writing and phone bank for our county party, for candidates in Nevada, and why it's so important to get people out to vote in the primary as well as the general. In Clark Dems, we've sort of divided our work into groups. So we have events and fundraising, fun aspects. Who's gotten a text in the last 4 hours asking for money for the political campaigns? Yeah. We don't do that. Everyone on our board is volunteers. We have over 8 subcommittees. We filled it. There's 54 people participating in the county party right now. We're very proud of that. It's more than it's been for almost a decade. But every single person is a volunteer. So we do raise a little bit of money, but mostly we have visibility events for local candidates. So Red Rock Dems is actually chartered through the Clark County Democratic Party. We're so proud of the work they do with candidates. Speed dating is such a great idea, and if you guys can do something like that, I recommend it for later in the year. We also do community outreach and activism. So something that I've really tried to do is partner with other organizations, issue-based organizations that are outside of the political sphere, who don't necessarily follow the same rules we do, to talk to voters so that we can share the work. There's IEs, there's groups that work on issue-specific things. We connect with them to share with the voters which candidates, what issue is important to you, and which candidate speaks to that. We also have political organizing. So I'm going to invite all of you today to an event. It's on March 28th. It's the Clark County Democratic Party Convention. We're hoping to hear from all of our federal delegation, our statewide elected officials. All candidates are invited to come and table so you can meet. What happens if you attend that meeting is you can opt in to becoming part of the Clark County Central Committee. This is a group of people, and I'm starting to call it a working board. It's a working committee. A group of people who's committed to attending the meetings, informing our platform, and doing the work and reaching out to the Democrats in Clark County, including registering voters and convincing and understanding from nonpartisans what it's going to take to participate in the Democratic Party. I think I'm over time. So I'll just, okay. I would just like to share one other philosophy that I have that speaks to some of the anger that we're feeling right now and speaks to some of the anger that we already heard, because what we're seeing on the news is it's unprecedented. I get emails and texts and phone calls every single day, and I have the day job like a regular job, from people who are extremely upset with what our elected officials are doing in Washington or doing at the state level. How many people have maybe felt like that? There's two things that we can lean into in that way, and I suggest that we lean into both of these things. The first, of course, is that there's healthy primaries within the Democratic Party, within nonpartisan races, that encourages debate. So you can get out for a candidate that you want, or you can participate in the organizing for somebody that maybe has not made all the decisions that you would do, but you want to inform their campaign. The other thing we can do is work very hard to organize our neighbors, which I'm preaching to the choir here, so that our elected representatives, who, whether we agree today or not, have a term to fulfill and will continue making decisions. We can lean into organizing our neighbors so that they feel what's important to us is important to the whole community. They hear from people that are mad on both every triangular or three-dimensional graph you can imagine. People that are mad in a conservative way, people that are neutral and concerned but not sure that they like what they're seeing, and people like us who think and know that what's happening is unacceptable in our country. What our current elected officials need to know is that there's a mass of people who will support them. Not that there's an extreme on either side that is having an opinion that's equal weight. So it's more important than ever that we organize with our neighbors, with our friends, with our family, have those tough conversations. Because in Nevada, we have democratically elected officials. They are Democrats. And if we show them that many people in their community support them, that they can win by supporting the policies that we believe are correct, they can do that. They can say, they don't have to go and say, I'm representing this wide variety of opinions and I have to find something in the middle. There's no middle right now, and we can show them that with positive efforts and organizing our democratic voters. So write to your elected officials. Don't just write that you're mad to us. I'll include myself. We get to be mad, but show support. Say, I was in a room tonight with 200 people who want the ICE detention center out of Henderson. I was in a room with 200 people who say, we don't want you to pass the government spending bill if funding for ICE is in there, or 1,000 people. And the more that we can do that, the more they can feel that they're doing the right thing, and it will be easy to move them to do that. That's my advice for the evening, and I'm happy to take any questions you may have. Yes.
So, I'll try to speak loudly. I'll share with Kathy Forte, I'm from California, and the way that we would get people out for an election that didn't have a senator or a president is we'd have good propositions. And so an example of a good proposition would be, if you're an ICE agent and you don't wear a mask, you can't get a Nevada driver's license. Can we do any, it's too late to get propositions, or what propositions are coming up so we can draw people into the election?
That's an excellent question. So I believe Lord shared. Yeah, so it's not too late, but it takes a lot of effort. And unfortunately, I think that Nevada voters are not too educated on the questions on the ballot. I'm not sure if anyone has a different experience. It's not too late though. You can have signatures up until June. June? Yeah. So
June 24th.
June 24th. So if that's something, if anyone has language or an example of something that you care about, there's many people working on those issues, and I would be happy to connect or give a recommendation. But yeah. She thinks that the example she gave of ICE, if everyone heard the example, if you don't wear a mask, you don't get a Nevada driver's license. I love that. So yeah, that particular one might be interesting. That's a great example. Yeah. Any other questions?
You mentioned a nice detention center here. I didn't even know there was one in Henderson. Are there any protests going on there? Or do we have people marching in front, with signs and things? Because I'd like to do that.
Yes, thank you so much for asking that question. There are protests. Last Friday, there were 3 separate protests about the ICE detention facilities, among other things. So that's something that I can share with Janice and Norm, and they can send out to the group if they see fit to do that. I don't know how often your emails go out, but yes, right now protests are they're being organized all the time. Honestly, it's hard to keep up sometimes. Yep.
Tell them about Indivisible, because if you get on Indivisible's website or their mailing list, you'll know all of the activities are happening locally and nationally.
There's a group called Indivisible, and the national group that is amazing. They meet every Thursday at noon online. But also, if you sign up for Indivisible's notifications, they will send everything to you of what's happening locally. We have a Las Vegas Indivisible group. We have an Henderson Indivisible group. And I think, is there one in Pahrump as well? Yeah. So there are things happening all the time, and they're always looking for folks.
And there is also a Pahrump ICE detention center.
There's also a Pahrump ICE detention center, I'm learning. I don't think that Henderson one is open.
They would never let us in.
Any other questions?
Thank you. Speaking of Indivisible, I'm connected with them, and most recently got a message, very local politics, which is that Ruben De Silva, who is the CCSD, one of the representatives, is under attack, and there is a meeting Wednesday, 4 o'clock, of the school board trying to oust him, and he could use a lot of support. I don't know if you've done anything with that.
Yeah, thank you. So Ruben De Silva is an assembly member, currently elected and up for re-election again. And he also is a teacher at Rancho High School. So I'm sure everyone saw the walkouts that the students did at CCSD high schools. He did a live stream from his classroom commending the students for exercising their right to protest. It was a very positive video. I follow him. And the school board, 2.5 of whom are MAGA extremists, condemned him, yes. And so there's already been one school board meeting and it didn't get anywhere, and there is another one on Wednesday. I don't know exactly what's on the agenda for that. Yes, she attended a meeting that he was presenting as an assembly person. Do you have it for that?
I don't have the video on me, but I can say what happened exactly. I was there.
Yeah. Do you know what's about the school board?
So I can pull up the information for the school board meeting if you just give me a second, but what I can say what happened, and let me go ahead and open the Indivisible website. But, so East Las Vegas Dems is another group, just like Clark County Dems, that hosts many events with their specific area representatives. They hosted with Tick Sagerbloom, Benicia Considine, Cynthia Moore. It was also Ruben De Silva and Rokana, who is a representative from the 17th Congressional District of California. And here we go. Hold on. And while I pull it up, I'm going to give the mic back.
Yeah, thanks, Dana. So East Las Vegas Democratic Club is another charter club like Red Rock under Clark Dems, so we did get notified about everything that happened. Several of our executive board members were there. But I do think that it's going to come up in the school board meeting, and I'd love to send more information about that to the group.
Yeah, and it is at least notice.
Great. On the agenda.
Speaking of individual, I don't know if you're aware, the next No Kings March is March 28th. It conflicts with what you're talking about.
It doesn't conflict at all. We will be making protest signs at lunch, and you can go straight to the protest from the meeting in the morning. Thank you so much. That's true. There's a big No Kings protest, No Kings 3, also on March 28th, and we are. But thank you for bringing that up. Any other questions or comments?
Don't be bashful. This is the place to ask them.
I asked you this question at the Red Rock Dems meeting, but I'd like, since we have 7,781 homes here in Sun City, why don't we have precinct chairs or precinct captains, people to organize at the most grassroots level to get out the vote?
That's my talk in 2 minutes.
Okay.
But thank you for that question, because I know our current Nevadan, former Texan friends here, I remember you. Many other cities and states and counties organize at the precinct level. So if anyone's ever seen the precinct map of Clark County, there are hundreds. They are huge. It's a lot to walk. Janice asked me for 5 precincts. There's over 3,000 Democrats who have specifically voted in the last 7 elections. So Las Vegas, Clark County is extremely spread out, and we haven't organized at that level in a long time as we've grown geographically. You can also, unfortunately, leading up to the election, you can only walk for so many months of the 6 months before the election. It's so hot. So we have our clubs and caucuses who do amazing work organizing their neighborhoods. We have, at the county party, representatives for each commission district, so there's 7, A through G, organizing and inviting people to do outreach activities at that level. It was recommended to us to The precinct model is actually in our bylaws because when Obama was running and everyone was organizing in the same way, it was so thrilling to be a Democrat at that time. That was the model, and it's truly just never been filled out because of the geographic scope of our county. So we are looking for other ways to organize at the micro level. Janice is an excellent example, and I featured her in our newsletter last year because she's doing that through this club, reaching out and inviting people to these club meetings, and then she's going to connect every one of you with opportunities to volunteer through our organization, and as we link our volunteers with the candidates. Yes. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
I wish we could do it.
I wish we could too.
What can we do to make sure that finally, in how many, I don't know, 20 years? What can we do to finally make sure we get a Democratic governor?
Excellent. No, that's such an important question because I don't know if anyone follows the legislature, it's torture if you follow, but so many incredible bills were passed through both the House and the Senate and landed on the governor's desk and were vetoed. The most vetoes of any governor ever, and then the most in a single session as well. So it's, what do we have to do to get a new governor? We have to convince everyone to get out and vote. And we also have to, I think, we have to learn about who our Democratic nominee is going to be, talk about that candidate, and answer Clark County. Things that are important to Nevadans are pretty unique things. And I think that Lombardo is not disliked as widely as we in this room dislike him. So we really have to talk about the answers to people's questions. How are people going to remain safe? What is that? What's the specific agenda? I think we know that people like Democrats. We have a Democratic majority legislature, and we just have to answer people's specific questions for the governor's race to get them elected. And we're going to do a lot of work with that with the Nevada Dems on language once we know who our Democratic governor nominee is. Do you have a question?
I just wanted to say, I just read on the Indy that Lombardo has $9 million in his coffers, and like Aaron Ford has, I don't know,
1.5, yeah.
1.5, and Alexis Hill has like nothing.
Less than $1 million?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, like, how do we get out the vote when that money seems to run there?
Yeah, the money certainly matters. It matters for street signs, it matters for endorsements, and you know, the incumbent has power, so people don't want to, I mean, he's already been endorsed by one of the teachers' unions, so it's going to be a lot of effort, but I do think that this year, we've seen it all across the nation. People are furious. We have to increase our turnouts. Turnout will be the key. Just everyone drive the people that aren't going to vote to the polls and ask them to do it. So I think that a smart strategy for the governor is going to be the key, making sure that people feel like their basic questions are heard. For example, I know that Aaron Ford has toured statewide and has heard that affordability is one of the big issues in Nevada. And so they're going really hard for messages that they have heard from Nevadans are important. So I think that as volunteers, once we know who it's going to be, we just drive home that message and talk to people, make sure they feel heard. That's always the secret for organizing. And then explain how Lombardo will not do any of those things and has only refused to do things his entire term.
And I do want to announce that April 22nd, the Red Rock Democratic Club will have both Alexis Hill and Aaron Ford. They both confirmed with me today. They will be at the Red Rock Dems. And we have also invited Nicole Camazero and Zach Conine to appear in the same meeting. So both Zach and Nicole are running for Attorney General in the primary, and Alexis Hill and Aaron Ford are running for the gubernatorial race. So all four, the big four, are going to be April 22nd at the Red Rock Dems. So if you want to hear from all 4 of them, they're going to be there. So it's still 2 months away, but we'll have a lot of publicity on it.
That sounds like a great opportunity. The Democratic Convention, thank you for asking that, is at the East Las Vegas Community Center. It's a very central location. Our friends from Mesquite have to come down as well. So, yeah, it's this big, beautiful central community center. Any other questions?
Last one.
Last one.
Oh, okay, so I'll make it good. So maybe this isn't the right place to talk about it, but I think it is. And that is, how do we protect our polls? Because, you know, Mark Elias from Democracy Docket has been talking about how our president might use ICE to come to the polls and, I don't know, round up people there. So is there any work on the Democratic level to at least think about it? About what, you know, how do we protect that we can even vote in this next election?
Thank you for that question. That might be a good segue to hand it back to Janice, because you do poll work, right? Do you want to come and answer that question? What are we doing in Nevada, Clark County in Nevada to protect the polls?
Actually, I don't have an exact answer, but I know it's on the table, how to protect it. From what I know, the machines this year, you'll be doing it in the machine, and a paper ballot will be saved, so it will be in writing in case they have to go back. Whether or not there's observers or armed guards, I don't know. I don't know. But the thing you have to remember is they want to intimidate you. Do not be intimidated. Do not. You have rights. And even if a masked guy walks up to you, you shout louder than he does or she does. We have rights, and we're not giving them up so fast. Because the more we shout, the smaller they become. Believe me, they start backing up. It's on YouTube. It's not, I know, yes.
Thank you, and I'll hand it off, but that inspired an idea, actually, because we're not invited to go be Democrats necessarily as a party at the polls, of course. If anyone's interested in seeing the machines, they are going to come and do a demonstration on the safety of that at the convention on March 28th. But I think something that we can do, even as young people or in the Clark Dems, is go and be a positive force. Maybe we'll organize and sit and make signs. Thank you for voting. This is a safe place. Counter any potential fear, not only by encouraging people to not be afraid, and if somebody shouts at you, you do what you feel you have to do, but we can go and organize and say, this is the right place to be, this is a safe place to be. You know, Indivisible brings like bubbles and stuff to their protests. I love that. So maybe we'll organize around the polls and make people feel safe on purpose. I love that idea.
No ideas. Yes, Sandy.
Are there poll watchers allowed in Nevada? Yes, in Nevada, yes. Okay.
There are poll watchers. Get on the list. I have volunteered to actually work the polls. If you want to work the polls, call up Board of Elections. Get your name down. Get trained. I've got my training data in. Yeah. Any question? Yes.
One of the midday news shows today said that our president is thinking about nationalizing the election process in his 15 states.
He can't do it. You know, our president, God bless him, our president he's motor mouth. Whatever comes into his mind comes out of his mouth. So again, don't be intimidated because half the stuff he's saying is false. It's a lie. It's a lie, more than half. Okay, I want to keep it going.
I want you to raise your hand if you know how many precincts there are in Sun City. Do not answer, Lynn. Raise your hand if you have any idea. I don't see one hand up. That's okay. This is good, only because we are a room full of students. You're going to learn a lot this year, okay? There are 9 precincts in Sun City, 9. Yep. By next meeting, I'm going to have maps and a list of, I'm going to find it, yeah, I know I can do it, a list of the streets that are in each precinct. I'm going to have 9 clipboards. If you are interested in being involved in a precinct, you will sign up and we will work together to figure out how we can get more of the votes out. Okay? The opposite, oh, thank you. The opposite team is probably doing the same thing. Yes, Eric?
Who runs at the precinct level?
Who run? We don't have any, I don't think we have any precinct captains. But maybe that will change. I'd like that to change. Raise your hand if you want it to change. Okay, that's good. That's good. It's a start. Hold on, we got a question coming at us.
Do you get a printout of the registered in the precinct? The reason I ask about the precinct in Florida, we have all kinds of information.
Okay. Yes, we've got all kinds of information, and we will set up ways that we can reach out and touch you. How do you like that? But the main thing is, you're walking out tonight knowing there are 9 precincts in Sun City. Next time we meet, there'll be clipboards with the addresses or the street names, just street names of the precinct. If you are so moved, please sign up. We're going to need you. You're sitting in this room for a reason, okay? Any questions?
Good work, thank you.
Eric, what's the matter? Okay. All right, what's next? Raffle. Actually, no, before the raffle. How many birthdays in February? Stand up. Stand up. You're going to be serenaded. Stand up. Okay. Okay, the next thing is, anybody want to say anything? The audience? Yes. Yes, Ashley, thank you so much for your presentation. Are there candidates in the room? Stand up. I knew it. I said, this young man he's all dressed up to kill.
How are you guys doing, sir? Hello tonight, Sun City Dems. Good to see you guys. My name's James Lally. I'm a cardiologist here in Las Vegas. I've been here for the last 18 years. And I'm running for Congress in Nevada's 3rd District in the Democratic primary against Susie Lee. So people ask me why I was running for Congress, and the initial reason was the genocide in Gaza. I'm Irish American. Ireland and the Irish people, we have deep sympathy for the plight of the Palestinians. Ireland was colonized for hundreds of years, just as Palestine is colonized now. And the Irish have not forgotten this. Ireland has led the world speaking out against the slaughter in Gaza. And Ireland and the Irish people have paid a price for this. AIPAC, the far-right Israeli lobby, aligned Republicans and Democrats in Congress have come out harshly against Ireland, calling Ireland, of all places, filled with hate for speaking up against ethnic slaughter and state-sponsored starvation. Susie Lee has taken over $600,000 from AIPAC since she's been in Congress. And her stance on Israel and Palestine has not changed. AIPAC thinks Israel should be able to do whatever it wants to the Palestinians. Susie Lee has enabled this genocide. We've also seen ICE in our streets terrorizing people. People wanted border control, but they did not want this. Susie Lee enabled this with her vote for the Laken Riley Act, which has caused all this. Susie Lee's vote on the Laken Riley Act were the first nails in the coffin of Ray Good and Alex Preddy in Minneapolis. We also have an affordability crisis here in Nevada. People see the cost of living being increased to higher and higher levels, and it's harder and harder to get by. We need to fight back against the billionaire class and corporate America, and I'm willing to do that. So in summary, when I'm your representative of Congress, I will fight for your values. I will fight back against MAGA. I will fight back against ICE. And I will fight back against AIPAC. And I will fight for an economy that works for everyone, fighting against the billionaire class and corporate America. To sum things up, my talking points are the same as Pope Leo. First, there's too much economic inequality here in America. We cannot have an economy where Elon Musk is getting $1 trillion pay package and more than half of American families are living paycheck to paycheck. We need to take on the billionaire class in corporate America to change that. And two, we need to show compassion towards immigrants. People want border control, but they don't want the government terrorizing our streets. And three, as Pope Leo has said multiple times, the only solution to the humanitarian crisis in Gaza and Palestine is the two-state solution. That's an Israel and a Palestine living side by side. Only the U.S. can make that happen. And the U.S. needs to make that happen, whether Israel and Benjamin Netanyahu want it or not. Thank you very much. For more information about my campaign, please go to rallyfornv.com. Thank you. Any questions from the audience?
Susie Lee is a chairperson on the Water Conservation Committee. She's been very strong on environmental issues and everything. Can you at least say something about water resources and environmental issues? And
Definitely, we need to fight back for water resources. Right now going on, there's a vote, or thought to be, it'll come on February 14th. The 7 states that are part of the Colorado River Compact are trying to come to a solution on this. And it's the upper states fighting against the lower states. There's thoughts that there's less water being used in the upper states. They could be paid off with some $1 billion or something to take water cuts on that. That's something that's impossible. The Trump administration does not want to do that right now. They do not want to give any money to this conflict. Donald Trump, 2 days ago, just gave $6.7 billion military aid to Israel, bypassing Congress to do it. Money like that we could be used to helping fix our water crisis here.
Thank you.
James Lally, Lally for Nevada.
There'll be other opportunities for people to speak.
Yes.
So it's well documented that in the year Trump's been in office,
Eat the mic.
he's enriched the Trump family coffers by almost $1.5 billion. It's also well known that one way that people protest is with their checkbooks. So let's get back to that Melania documentary disaster for a minute. It's well known that Jeff Bezos has contributed up to $75 million to make that happen, and that money went to Trump. So I think the question that all of us here need to ask themselves is, first of all, is it fair to say that a lot of us use Amazon as a big part of our lives? We use it for its ease of use, its convenience, its expeditiousness, and the broad scope of items that are available. It's really a great thing, I'm sure a lot of us use it. But how much money would Jeff Bezos have to keep giving to Trump before we decided to think about pulling the plug on Amazon. It's something that we all should ask ourselves.
There are different boycotts, of course, Target, Home Depot, and Amazon, another one. And Indivisible is organizing them. Yeah, there's lots of them. Indivisible.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to pull the numbers for the 50-50. Take out your numbers, please. How much time we got?
Okay, so we collected 200, so 100 people left.
Okay. Guest of honor is going to pick.
Two, 5, 1, 8, 2, 8. Got it?
I know where to go for a loan now. Okay, let's see. Next month, as Norm said, our guest speaker is going to be Shay Backus, who's the chair of the Assembly Revenue Committee, vice chair of Ways and Means, and a member of the Growth and Infrastructure Committee for the 2025 section. Okay, any questions? Any answers?
Good, sir. Good, sir.
Have a good month.